Brother Joshua, we about to get started. Huh? All right, so y'all ready? So we're gonna get the second half, and I kind of, when you're working with people, they start to rub off on you. So I got how I used to do. I just freestyle. I go to the website and show it up. But I've been working with this brother long enough. I said, you know what? I got to get me some slides. So these are my sources: U.S. Codes and Statutes, Yale Law School, United States Constitution, Black Laws Dictionary, third edition. We might go into that. We might not. Cornell Law School, and IRS website. All of the stuff I talk about mainly comes from these sources, the stuff they write. So you can't run around. Akeem said this. No, it's not what Akeem said. It's what they say. Okay? Just remember that when y'all quote me, Akeem showed me that they said it. Okay? All right? A lot of people, do y'all notice that a lot of people that teach, they'll be talking and tell you what something is, but never show you where they got it from? Right? So, and a lot of that stuff happened now. Let's talk about this. A little side note. George Floyd, right? White cop killed him, supposedly. But y'all know the autopsy results came out, right? The real one. He wasn't killed by strangulation. No. He did no asphyxiation. He had enough fentanyl in it to kill his whole room. So what you saw was a man just leaning on a man who was, I'm not saying that the cop didn't do something wrong, because he did do some stuff wrong, but that's not what killed him. Because there's a lawsuit out there now that case came up, and they showed the official autopsy results. See, but your perception came from what? The media painted this picture that 9 minutes, this is what happened. And they said not, wasn't it? It was 9 minutes, right? Yeah, 9 minutes and like 40 something seconds. Right. Isn't it a coincidence they use the number 9? When everything you do is in 9, your socials are 9 digits, EINs are 9 digits. It takes 9 months for a woman to have a baby, or, if she's healthy and it goes to its term. So everything is a theater to get you to see things a certain way, to keep you walking down that path, just like they do with cattle when they walking them off to slaughter. They go through a narrow path, and they lure them with food all the way. That's exactly what's happening to us. That's how they are presenting information. How do they start you off with the information? They did a study of children to see what makes some children geniuses and some not. And they found something surprising. They said between the age 0 and 6, almost over 90% of children exhibited genius behavior. All of the children they studied. Then they went back and studied them after they dealt with the whole school system, and they were down to 20% after doing public education. Y'all think that's by coincidence? The educational system is a perfect working machine. It's just not good for you, but it's good for the system. And that's what it was. They had a meeting about this. They wanted to figure out, how can we get a generation of people to be dumb and work for us forever and make their kids do it. They had a meeting. They went to the Horace Mann, who is the father of public education, went to Prussia, which we call Germany now, and tried to figure out how did Hitler get these young people to do all of these things. It's through indoctrination and propaganda. All of these new age or new, I don't even know if they're new or how, whatever you want to call it. Everybody want to identify as something other than what they was born to be. Um, how did they do that? It was in the educational system. They were teaching this stuff to the kids through the material, and you didn't even know they were teaching your kids that. Because we too busy working, because that's what we're being responsible adults and not paying attention to what our kids were getting in these schools. Now it's so far gone, it's no turning back. You see? But we're going to talk about an identity that you need to have in order to protect your assets, in order to protect yourself from the mechanism they have in place to trap you into being a slave. The movie The Matrix is a biography of everybody's life in here. Okay, that's real. Exactly. Remember when he got Neo and he said one of the first things he said, Neo, are you a slave? And one of the first things he talked about is IRS paying taxes. Isn't that the bane of our existence? Man, taxes. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Taxes are not a bad thing if you know how to handle them. You see? So those are the sources. We're gonna go to those sources and look them up and talk about what I'm gonna talk about here. Okay, this is the discharge seminar. People ask, can you discharge student loans? Somebody answer that. Can you? Yes. Can you discharge mortgages? Can you discharge credit cards? And the next is the steps. You already answered all of that. I'm trying to be a little fancy. That's as good as it get right there. There ain't no more little ain't no more of that. So let's look at discharge. Now that is so small, I know I can't even read it. So I'm gonna have to how am I gonna read that and keep it up on the screen? Huh? Okay. Somebody come up here and read it. Oh, you were absent. Man, Warren, you better keep him. You better keep him. I'm sitting up here. I got the book right here. How am I gonna read this and it's sitting right here? Oh. Huh? I can't see with them glasses on. Those are only for distance. So I can see if y'all can sleeping on me or not. So we're gonna look up the word discharge. Huh?
That looks finer than my Bible. I can't even see that.
Huh?
Words.
Oh, you was afraid I was gonna let you read it?
I'm telling you.
He worried. I hope he ain't asking me to read this. Discharge. See, when we read this, y'all gonna see something very interesting about this.
What's in that book?
Oh, this is the Black's Law Dictionary, third edition. Somebody help me find discharge. Somebody who's sharp. I'm gonna use one of these young eyes right here. When you get it, let me know. Discharge. This is Black's Law Dictionary law of definition of discharge. I can read that from here. Huh? Page, oh yeah, 584. Genius again. I'm sitting here looking for the page number sitting on the screen. 584. I'm in the game. I'm there. I'm just. Yeah, you got it. All right. You don't have to read all that. Start right there.
Okay.
Nice and loud. Hey, come on up here and talk. You do a YouTube channel. He got a YouTube channel. Y'all should follow him. She got a YouTube channel. Y'all should follow her too. Huh? Read it nice and loud. Here. So you can speak in this mic. Yeah.
There is a distinction between a debt discharged and a debt paid. When discharged, the debt still exists through divested of its character as a legal obligation during the operation of a discharge. Something of the original vitality of the debt continues to exist, which may be transferred even though the transferee takes it subject to its disability incidence.
Stop right there.
The
Stop.
discharge.
Hold your place. So what did this say about discharge? Discharge, even though the debt is discharged, the debt still exists, right? Isn't that kind of what happens when people are discharging? They still try to get you for that money, right?
Yeah, because tax haven't been paid
E-
on.
Well, everything's a tax, but you on the right road, you close. So what it's saying is the debt still exists in some way, so it can be transferred, sold, whatever, right? But keep going.
The fact, oh, the mic.
Oh, sorry.
The fact that it carries something which may be consideration for the new promise to pay as to make an otherwise worthless promise is a legal obligation, which the subject of transfer by assignment. Stanek v. White, 72.
You don't have to read those.
Okay.
Those are just
Right.
cases. Keep going.
Discharge by operation of law is where the discharge takes place, whether it was intended by the parties or not. Thus, if a creditor appoints his debtor or executor, the
Executor.
executor.
Read that again, because I want to
Okay.
hear that with some emphasis. Read it again.
Okay. Thus, if a creditor appoints his debtor, his executor, if the debt is discharged by operation of law, because the executor cannot have an action against himself.
Wow. Right. Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna read it again. Because I have to read it again so it can get in my brain. And then I can talk about it. But thank you. Good. All right. It says discharge by operation of law is where the discharge takes place, whether it was intended by the parties or not. Thus, if a creditor appoints his debtor his executor, the debt is discharged by operation of law because the executor cannot have an action against himself. Without me having to explain that, I'm going to explain it. Can somebody figure out what it just said? Go ahead.
You're talking about the all caps and the proper.
Okay, what is the all cap name? What place does it hold?
It's the debtor.
Absolutely, right? So if you take and appoint that debtor, the executor, what happens? The debt goes away because it can't discharge against itself. That's exactly what that just said. Go ahead. Throw it to the back. In layman term is they're new, so y'all still kind of catching up. A lot of people already know what I'm talking about, so I gotta kind of. Can you explain a little bit? Can you do it?
The creditor and the debtor.
Yeah.
So in that situation, and it's almost like it look at it like in a from an estate if someone passes away, right? So if the debtor appoints the creditor as the executor, which is you, right? Then you can't do what?
Can be held liable
To yourself.
And the
Right.
debt goes away.
Right.
because the one and the same.
Right. Well, it's not one and the same. It's the position you holding, right? The all caps is always a debtor. Why? Where did it come from?
It was a creation.
It was a creation from the United States. They created that to be a debtor. That's all it can ever be, is a debtor. But you, the living person, is what? You don't have any debt when you come into this world, right? So you and that entity can't do anything without you. But see how they got you is give us your socials so we can put this on a W-4 form or a W-2 form. Give us your socials so you can get these lights on, so you can buy this car. They okay here. They're putting you in a position where you're administering the estate, but you're not in the right position.
And you create
Guess which position you're in? trustee position. Trustees in a lot of cases when you're dealing with the government, trustee is the worst position to be in because it's actually the owner, right? If I have a trust, like he said, irrevocable trust, right? We got a trust, and I give it up to him. He's the trustee. He and I in that trust, he gets to buy property. He can either put it in his name or in the trust name, but he's the one responsible that they're going to come and look for. Hey, what's going on here? Did you pay the taxes on the trust? Did you do the administration? And then they have laws for trustees if they don't do the right thing.
That's right. You go straight to jail.
See, but when you create your trust, you ain't gonna have that problem. But when you executing their trust, the one they created, which is the straw man, you're gonna have that problem because their trust indenture has rules. What is the trust indenture for the straw man? What trust indenture? Where's that trust expressed for the straw man name? It's expressed in several ways. Yes, it's expressed everywhere. It's expressed in the penal code, the criminal code, and the IRS code. What is the first thing you get arrested they're looking for? Let me get your name, social security number. Right. They have an expression of how you're gonna get treated. Who here got a court case right now that they can show me that they can pull up? Just show me the caption. Just look at the caption. Show me. I want you to notice something about the captions. The caption is state versus you. That's the caption. That's what that means. He's pulling it up. While he's doing that, it's written in a certain way. It's written to show you what estate is going against each other. Let's see. I ain't gonna pass this around, brother. See how here they have it up and lower, but let's see the documents. Can you see the documents?
You talking about
Like where I could actually see the filings.
A lot of them closed. Right here.
Still.
Oh no,
Thinking that's you because the letters look the same as your name. But you're not paying attention to how it's styled. Styling is important to anything you do because you're thinking, oh, this is me, and and the court know you don't know this, and they let you roll right in there and take that position, and then having you paying into the estate on behalf of for whatever they're saying you want. That's for traffic tickets, all of that stuff. All right, let's go. Let me see. See it? Yeah, see how it's all in all caps? See, but down there they got you up and low. The child, see it? See how they switched it up? Yeah. So you don't know the difference.
Remember, I sent you that letter. How they
Yeah.
sent me, and they sent
Yeah.
me two.
Yeah. They sent him 2 letters. One was all caps, and then when they actually was talking to him, they put it in up and lower. You see? That's how those are the games they're playing. That's why I told y'all about to go down a rabbit hole. Y'all ready for this rabbit hole? All right, just slide seem off. Let me see. I was just charged. Okay.
I think you went first.
I think
You went.
huh?
You went backwards versus forward.
Yeah, no, that next slide. I didn't know that was next. Then okay. In order to discharge, here's some requirements. These are Akeem, the Church of Infinite Abundance of requirements. You don't necessarily have to do it this way. I set it up this way for protection because I know what the Constitution says about religion. Your rights are unalienable rights when it comes to your religious faith. They can't question you, can't do nothing. Only time your religion gets questioned is when you fill out a what? When you set your church up as a what? A 501c3. Now it's no longer a church. It's no longer a temple. It's no longer a mosque. It's now considered, by IRS definition, a religious organization that has to answer to them and file all of these reports and all that craziness. So, Scripture says, 1 Corinthians 7:21-24, were you a slave when you came that up? That thing ain't ring all day until I start talking, huh? When were you a slave when you were called? Don't let it trouble you, although if you can gain your freedom, do so. That's what we're talking about right now. For the one who was a slave when called to faith in the Lord is the Lord's freed person. So how was we born into slavery? See, the movies got you thinking slavery is picking cotton, getting whipped by some trustee, you in chains. The movies, that's what they have you thinking real slavery is. But do y'all know that type of slavery was a very short period of time compared to how long man been on earth? Slavery has always been this. When you had to leave your home and go work for someone else. That was slave. That was considered being a slave. Y'all been reading the Bible in your life that showed you that. The Israelites was able to go home to their house and do all it because they was complaining at Moses about, why are you messing with us, man? We was doing good. They loved us. They took care of us. They fed us. So they didn't feel like slaves. Why? Because they kept their culture. They was able to go home. They wasn't living in dilapidated conditions. How you know they wasn't living in dilapidated conditions? What happened when they left Egypt and they couldn't wait on Moses? What did they do? What did they build? They built a golden calf. So you talking about a broke slaves came out of Egypt and they built this calf together? That these were poor folks we talking about? No. They just like what we got here. You got some people living in the hood, some people living in middle class neighborhoods, some of these people living in upscales, and then some living in super upscale. It's the same situation, just different time. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, and some of y'all might not like it, but it's a hard truth. When you have to get up and go to somebody's job and clock in, clock out, that's your master. It- you okay? If anybody who has disagreed with me, can you tell them what time you going on a break? Nope. Can you tell them when you got to get permission on? Hey, I need these days off, boss. Can I have it? Anybody else got these days? Huh? Right? And we live like that's normal, like it's regular, like that's okay. God didn't say that in Genesis. He said, "Have dominion over all things." How do you have dominion over all things? And you got to ask a man when you could take your family on vacation. When you got to ask a man to pay you more money to buy a nicer house for your family. Ask this same guy so I could buy better groceries. Salaries ain't going up, but the groceries is high as hell. I spent $150 and I got a handful of stuff. Like what? I need to go and start tilling some land because this is crazy. And they charging you all that money to poison you. That's crazy. That's the worst part about it. It ain't even good food you buying. Right? So for the one who was a slave when called to faith in the Lord is the Lord's freed person. Similarly, the one who was free when called is Christ's slave. You were bought at a price. Do not become slaves of human beings. The scripture told y'all that. Look, it said it right there. Don't be nobody's slave. Brothers and sisters, each person that's responsible to God should remain in the situation that they were in when God called them. What situation was you in when you was called? When you was born, let's put it like that. You was free. You didn't have any idea what debt was, that you have to grow up and want to be a fireman, policeman, and all that craziness that they get you put in your head. You just wanted to be free. It was the adults who came in and said, this is what it is to be responsible. This is the deal. Yeah, you gotta go get this education and get a good job so you can collect your 401k. Y'all know that's a scam, the 401k, right? Because they done spent all that money. Why you think they having all these fires? They want you to look at Israel and what's going on. They trying to figure out because a lot of people are retiring, and they're gonna want that money. That means there's gonna be a huge run on the bank at one point. So what they do? Create a pandemic, get everybody to take them shots. And we got to mitigate our losses.
You can't control the money in your 401k.
No.
Only thing you can do is take from it, which they'll take from you if you take from it. If you ever try to go into your 401k, like let's say buy Bitcoin, they're gonna tell you you can't do it. They're gonna say you need a private account.
Because it ain't your money.
Exactly.
Once you give it to them, it's theirs.
They're gonna say you need a private account in order to move this money from your 401k to Bitcoin. And you think it's all your money, and you can't control it once it's in your phone.
Then if you take it out early, they're gonna penalize it. They did a study of the 401k system, and they looked at the gains and the losses over the years. They said over a lifetime of the gains and losses, you pretty much get in what you put in it back. It's really no real gains because the market shrinks, it expands, and over that time, it's pretty much giving you maybe a little bit extra. So what it's saying is, don't put all your money in 401k. You need to diversify that money, put it in different places. Because if we have an economy collapse, that's one of the biggest things that's gone. You ain't okay. I had this money, but then the fraud that goes along with 401ks, because it's up to the manage. They give that money over to a management company to manage the funds, and if they pick the wrong scheme, you stuck. Yeah, always conduct. So we talk about status and correcting status and how you should look. Don't One thing you want to correct status is who you working for. That's why I showed that last stage slide. Who do you work for? You work for man or you work for God? You was put here to work for God. Some of y'all think y'all don't have, or y'all might think that working for God is being part of a church or being in someone else's church, but everyone in here is their own church. Everyone in here got their own mission that they need to share with the world. I don't care what you've been through, but that thing you've been through is what can help somebody else. All right. So if you had a hard life, that hard life is supposed to teach someone else. It ain't for you. You went through it, someone else can learn from it. What did Christ do? He went through the hardest thing that a man could go through. Help people, and then get persecuted for it. And then got put to death for it. Right? How many people can do that? Shoot, somebody look at us wrong, we ready to flip, right? Now this man healed people, and the same people he healed was the same people that asked to put him to death. Let's not get it twisted. The same people that he fed and helped is the same people that went up against him. And they even asked for a thief over him. Someone who was already up there before, who was already convicted before he got there. And he did nothing but try to help. So,
That's really true right there.
huh?
What's on the board? Conduct your business according to your religious beliefs.
Yes. But groups of people are already doing it. You see it every day when you watch movies and stuff like that. The Jewish community own most of your media companies, just about all of it, right? But you never hear them talk about paying taxes or any other problems. How many? You don't hear too many of them going through these divorces or anything like that.
You barely see them in court.
Right, because they have their own courts. They do everything according to their religion, and that's why they one of the most successful communities out there. Don't hate them, learn from them.
Can I give a testimony, Akeem?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was because I've been listening. I've been dealing with Akeem for a long time since he was with Joan and all that. So I've been with Akeem for like 4 or 5 years. So I've been doing correcting status and all that other stuff, right? So I didn't understand some things. So I didn't have my car registered, right? And I didn't have the license plate on. So I was driving through the town. They pulled me over. I don't have a driver's license and none of that stuff. I just got a passport card, right? So they pulled me over. To make a long story short, they ended up towing the car, right? But the guy asked me, he said, "Where you work?" I said, "Well, I'm a missionary." I said, "I work for God." Right? No license, no registration. They took the car, and I ended up having to get the car back the next day, right? But anybody knows if you have no license, no registration, you going to jail. Then not only did they not lock me up, they took me home. Once I told them, this is God's honest truth. Once I told him I work for God, he said, "Who's your boss?" I said, "God's my boss." He said, "You just said you work in the deli because I own the store." I said, "Yeah, the deli needs help. I'm a missionary. I help." He took me home 2 blocks from my house. He didn't take me directly to my house. I was 10 miles from my house, 3 o'clock in the morning. They took my car. They took my car. Then he put me, he said, "Well, you could take an Uber or something." I said, "No, I'm not taking no Uber. I got no money. You left me out here." He said, "I'll bring you home right now." He brought me home.
See?
That's a fact.
So I'm glad he mentioned that because I was talking and I wanted to remind myself to talk about it, but he reminded me. When Al gave y'all the definition of person, they gave every entity in the under the book except for one entity: church, temple, synagogue, or mosque. That's not a person in the eyes of the law. They can't define that because that's above their pay grade. That's above them. So they can't define and say this person is bound by these rules. So when I tell y'all to set these things up, I'm taking you outside of their jurisdiction, which is there's only way you can get in their jurisdiction is it with your church is if you fill out that 501c3. That's how they had to bring the religious organizations. They were losing, they weren't getting billions of dollars a year. It's like all these churches getting all this money. How do we get this money? So they said, we'll get them. We won't get them now, we'll get them later. But tell them we want to get them recognized as tax exempt. They get on this little list and people could see this. And this is what I started. That's why I started off the way I started with the George Floyd. How you see things, how they want you to see things is not the truth. See, everybody in their mind says, I need a 501c3 to be tax exempt. That's the thinking. Not churches. They don't need it. And I'm going to read later and show you that it says specifically they don't need it. It's not necessary. But some do it so they can be recognized. But most doing it to be recognized, thinking that they have to do that. A lot of the stuff y'all doing right now, y'all don't have to do. You have a job?
Nope. I quit my job.
You quit?
Sorry.
Give up. When you have problems, and they could be extreme, that is a great opportunity for you to really practice transcending that situation and work out not allowing it to bring you down consciously. That's the mission. That's the mission, to be able to navigate all of the challenges of this world that it may bring you and still be able to walk over it like Christ walked on water. Still be able to allow yourself to be sacrificed for the good of mankind. I'm not saying go allow people to nail you to a stake or anything like that. What I'm saying is spiritually, even though these people, you might feel from a fleshly level that they deserve condemnation, you cannot condemn. Because once you don't allow yourself to pass judgment on them for their wrongdoing, and you look at it as simply as, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And honestly, so people are so indoctrinated into the opposer mindset, into the devil mindset, that what they do, although it may be wrong to some and most people, they really don't see it as wrong. They really can't see it because their mind is so clouded in that vibration that in that world they feel justified. You just so happen to be a casualty of their ignorance to their true divinity. Peace. What's up? What's up? Man, I got carried away. I was watching the seminar. That was a seminar we did in Atlanta about a year and a half ago. And I was enjoying it. So I said, man, let me see what you do stuff and you forget what you're saying, Hey, I got the up here over my head. I just moved it over there near the guitar. Join in on Telegram if you got a comment, question, just want to share an experience. Go to Telegram and get on there, press the button and that we put your hand up, raise your hand, and I'll see. And I'll have you join in on the live broadcast. So I talked about discharge. In order to get the discharge done correctly, what position that debtor need to be in, what as the executor. And people taught about that executor. You need to be the executor. No, you need to be the debtor appointed as the executor. That's the missing piece that they missed out on. So, and so many things. I was just enjoying that. That's why I let it play so long. So we got a lot of people on. Some old heads are back in here. Let me just give a shout out to everybody here. All praise to Yah says greetings. Lake and Apple said peace, brother. I came peace to gods and much light to all. Marco Lara, a long-time supporter, back on live. Peace, brothers. Good to see you. Corinne, another one. Long-time loyal supporter, host of Level Up Thursdays, still doing her thing every week consistently. I'm happy that she's doing that. Indie Circle Ministry. Says peace, my brother. Oh, you know what? Before I go on, I have to do this. I gotta find it. Give y'all a link to Beth's got a channel where she does cooking and makes meals, and so I have to find the channel. I just kind of remembered it just now. Going through my history. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a link. That's her channel playing right there. Here's a link to one of the videos. Go like and subscribe. So she's doing videos on traveling and cooking, and this is one of those things that you trying to figure out what you want to do, and I say, hey, go make the videos. Just make the videos. Now she's making the videos on her own, and she's already just started like a week ago. She got 6 subscribers and there's quite a few views on this one. I'm gonna put it in the chat. There we go. There it is. Go support the channel. Where's my chat at? DJ OJ's in the house. Spiritual being can never be a debtor. It's limitless. Yes, correct. You are right. Right. I think I missed somebody down here. I was at Indie Circle. He says peace, my brother. Omar L says peace, everybody. Cacness says peace all. Peace Almighty, the movie, The Matrix really spoke to my journey. They lie in news and tell the truth in movies. Yes, they do. Yeah. Truzilla says, what's good? There you got it. So, what was I going to talk about? I was going to show y'all how to authenticate your passport application. And they switched it up. I didn't realize they switched that up so much, you know? I didn't realize that. I did not realize that they switched it up. So I'm going to show y'all how to do that real quick. Because they got a form for it. So you got to go. Let me share the screen. That's not the screen I want to share. Let's change it over to Google Chrome. And there it is. Let me mute out. All right. So what you got to do is go to travel. Let me give y'all the link where to start off at. There, you got to go here. Then you have to go over here, replace or certify documents. Okay. Let me move something here. Replace or certify documents. Then you will see over here to the right, request authentication services. Then it says check if you need an authentication certificate or apostille. So that really basically is going to say, I'll just click it. Authentication certificates are for documents you use in countries not in the 1961 Hague Convention Treaty. So apostilles is for ones that are in the 1961 Hague Convention Treaty. So to authenticate, you have to mail in this form. Form DS 4191-4. Now me looking at this, I realize that give me a second, turn something down here. I realize that they changed up the process. Let me how do I switch places with the camera? I didn't want that. I forgot how to do this. I'm just gonna turn that off so y'all can see the whole screen. I didn't realize, they switched up the application where the line outs used to be. Then they switched up how do you authenticate, because that was the process. Get your passport, authenticate it, keep it for your records. Now they done made it difficult, and I didn't realize. I never dawned on me, hey, let me look and see how they doing it now, because everybody was saying, I can't find it. I said, man, let me find it. Then I did a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I realized it looked different. So I said, I got to investigate this more. So I investigated more. So this is what and it's cheaper now. It's only $20. Used to be $50 to authenticate. So you fill out this form 4194. We're not going to go over this whole thing. You fill it all out. What I'm going to go to is this part.
They want to know what country. See, this is where people I know will get stuck. Well, why can't? What country do I use? Blah 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 blah. So you gotta find a country that's not in the Hague Convention. Part of that. Find a country. So usually Taiwan is one of those countries that wasn't in it. So I would say that. Then you do this drop down, and it's got all of the documents you can authenticate. Now, guess what, y'all? I like this. I like it because look at all of the things you can authenticate: agreements, animal plant certification, articles of incorporation, assignments, authorization of agent, birth certificates, certified court records. So those of you who they want you to do that. There's something with the name change process that I teach that they want you to get the exemplification, right? Well, sometimes some states, like in South Carolina, don't do exemplifications in some of the counties, right? So I would take that because I can't get a simplification or get a certified copy of my court record, and I would send it here to get authenticated. Man, that's powerful. I like that. Declarations, like declarations of trust, uh, death certificate, diplomas, divorce decrees. We ain't gonna want to talk about that. Anything. Just about everything's in here. See, sometimes when they make things hard, they're actually doing you a favor. Look, passport copies, bam. And pick how many you want. Let's say 2. Processing fee per document would be $40. So it's cheaper. It used to be $50 to get an authentication. Total document total is 2. Boom. Then you estimate your costs, $40. There you have it. Of course, you would fill all this stuff out, your last name, comma first. It's right there. This is, to me, I don't think I need to explain this. You see what I'm saying? Case type. You say individual if you're a company, if you're doing that. You see? Mailing address, where you want the items mailed. Then you got to provide them a self-addressed envelope. See, me, I would do a self-address next day here, if I'm doing a USPS or UPS, I would give them a self-addressed prepaid envelope. Are you retrieving this request on the behalf of another individual? You say no. If that's the case, yes, and the representative contact information, blah, blah, blah. In most cases, that would be no. All right. Request authentication service. So there's so many. See, this thing you could do a lot. You could send a whole lot of documentation, more than one thing at the same time. And there you have it. So if any of you have not got your authentication, that might be wise because this is the new process to do it. Okay? I think I covered everything. Let's see. Telegram. Nobody's got their hand up over there. So let me go back to me. Yeah, I made it simple. You can authenticate. I like that. I like that process because I could send, and it's going to the authentication place. Let me the address. What does it get mailed to? Privacy Act, Paperwork Reduction Act, blah blah blah. We do not return it. Now I would read these instructions. It says complete one copy of this form per individual or company to be submitted with your documents and payment. Walk-in service and maximum of 15 documents are allowed for submission, so you can actually walk in and turn this in. Okay. The authentication process is $20 per document, not per page. This fee will be charged regardless of whether you receive an authentication certificate or a correspondence letter. So they're going to charge you either way. Pay the total amount shown, the estimated cost field, the exact amount is required. Allowable payment methods include money orders, checks, personal, corporate, certified, cashiers, travelers, all payable to the U.S. Department of State. Walk-in service only. In addition to the payment methods noted above, cash exact amount, so you can pay cash in person. Do not send cash in mail. This form is used by individual institution, government agencies to request authentication and or to apostille certificates under the seal of the U.S. Department of State for documents used for legal or administrative purposes abroad. For information or questions, call this number. So if you got questions about this, there's a number there for you to call. All right. I'm trying to see. Maybe it was on the page that I was on. It's okay. Let me share the screen again. So there's the mailing address right here. I think this is the same mailing address where we used to get our birth certificates authenticated. I believe. Yeah. Yeah, authenticated birth certificate was used to be $8. Now it's 20. So they went up on that and went down on authentication of the application. They did that. All right, I think that covered it. I just showed y'all how to authenticate your documents. So all of you people who have not authenticated that passport application, it's time to get on it. For real. Yes. I don't know why you're wasting time. I know people who have had my passport process for years and still haven't authenticated it. So, all right, if y'all want to join on Telegram, I'm here, or I'm going to get off and enjoy the rest of my evening. But I do have some things I need to do. I have some emails to send. Nope, I guess not. Everybody good. Let me check the chat. Make sure there's no questions in the chat. I got the okay. He said Marco Lara says I got the authentication when you did it originally. Would I have to do it again? No, you don't have to do it again if you've already done it. This is basically if you have never done it. They corner the market, yeah. Well, when you did the authentication, it was still mailing it to the same place, but they were doing it separately. Now they combine all documents that you can get authenticated, because remember when you authenticated your birth certificate, it all went to the Department of State. So now everything's centralized in one place. It's easier. To me, it's easier. And I can send more than one thing. So if I'm going to authenticate my birth certificate, I'm going to go ahead and authenticate some other stuff. Like some people who I help get married, I'm going to have them send that stuff to get it all authenticated from the Secretary of State and then send it to the Department of State to get authenticated. Yeah. See, the Spirit just spoke to me. It just spoke to me because that list is everything. Everything. They let's go back to that list. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to it. Look at that. The first thing said an agreement. Agreement. But you're going to have to follow, before you can send it here, you're going to have to follow the authentication process for the state first. So that means some states you could just go straight to the Secretary of State, get it authenticated, and then you send it off to the Secretary of State. And then some states like New York want you to go to the county, get it authenticated, then go to the state, then you send it to the Secretary of State. That's all according to your rules of your state. So what I have is I have people who get married and we create what you call, let's see if I can find it and give y'all like, I'm not showing y'all my sauce. Not like my people that are in my membership, I don't mind showing you. I'm not trying to show all of these other people that come in here and trying to steal ideas. But I create a document that shows that they have gotten married under religious rites, and I have it signed by 2 witnesses plus a notary. Then they take that to the county and get that notary authenticated. See, like in a state like New York, you authenticate it on the county level, then you take it to the state, send it off to them, and get it authenticated. Then send it off to the Department of State and get it authenticated. Now they can put that on. Hey, look, I got all these authenticated. I'm married. They can get the medical benefits. They get all that stuff. And for some people who are married and maybe one of the spouses is not a citizen, oh man, everything's religion, man. I ain't going into no details on that. Y'all know where I'm going. All those who've been rocking with me know where I'm going with that. They know. Yeah, so I don't know. Thank you for information. I'll be tuning in more often. This living in debt life is damaging on every realm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I get you, brother. There's a tab to select records before or after. Yeah, there's a tab that says that. That's if your record is, your passport is not going to be before 1925. That's for birth certificates and death certificates mostly. That's referring to any or documents before that time. So that's when that's important. Yeah. So yeah, I like this. I like it. Document type. Certification of pharmaceutical products, certificate of registration, certified court records, commercial invoice, declaration, diplomas. They can certify a warrant. Financial papers. Shoot. You know, another thing. You know, we do that 1455, the medallion stamp that gets notarized. You can authenticate the notary, then authenticate it to the Secretary of State in your state, then send it off to here and get it authenticated. Just an idea. Just an idea. Just an idea. Revocations of POAs. Trademarks. Wow. I like this one. It's a little easier. Let's say, I also would like to do the IRS lawsuit. Yep, that's IRS webinar 4 or 5. in there. If you want to do it, go purchase that at my website. It has the lawsuit all included. You have a video in your catalog going more into name changes. Yes, I have 2 videos in my catalog. Go to akiemel.com and you can purchase them. There, akiemel.com. el.com. There it is in the chat. It said, man, that's a big list. Yeah. You know, I appreciate you guys trusting me to tell y'all stuff, but I also appreciate if you guys sometimes surprise me and say, listen, what I figured out, Akeem. Says a lot of people saw this and got confused because it didn't look like what I did. And I appreciate you trusting me that much that you didn't want to move forward, or like I did it. You didn't want to move forward this way because what I taught you. But things changed. Life changed. I made that video back in 2020, I think, 2021. So I got to go back and start making new videos of the updated stuff. Now y'all got the heads up now. Now I got almost 30 people on and only 17 thumbs up. I would appreciate if I could get it up to 28. Please. Help this channel get some more traction. More traction. I just did a free webinar on how to get and then gave y'all some gems to take and say, wow, I can do a lot now. The sky's the limit. The government is not always your enemy, y'all. No. I suspect they consolidated how they do the passport because COVID hit and a lot of people was doing it. I taught thousands of people how to do that authentication, and it just got lost because some people didn't even get their stuff. So this form is what you need to do to get your authentication stuff. And you notice that passport copy is very vague. You're like, I can see how you can get it confused, right? I see it. I understand, y'all. I get it. But I'm here to take the confusion away from you. That's what I'm here for. So, what's this say? Son of the True King says, "Greetings, I can't believe it's time for a new private seminar." Yeah, yes, it is. I'm overdue. Y'all live in where do y'all live? I think I need to do one in your town. Y'all have come to every seminar. Is it California or Arizona? I haven't done a seminar in California since 2018, 2017 or 2018. I'm putting together a seminar now. Now. Got to put together one. I've been saying it and been putting it off. It's time because I got a lot of stuff to teach y'all. I always teach it in my seminars before I bring it out there to the world. The stuff that I've been compiling. It's time. Texas. That's right. Oh, man, Texas. Yeah, that's even better. What part of Texas y'all in? Texas. I don't know why I said California. What Texas is it? I need to come out to Texas. Actually, I'm coming to San Antonio, Texas on this month between the 24th and 26th. I will be there on business. Well, I'll tell y'all what it is, right? Austin, Texas. Oh, man, we could do that. We are doing a seminar in Austin, Texas. Right. I like that. Yes. That perfect. Austin, Texas seminar. Here we come. If you can help me out, find me a venue, or if you know of a venue where we can get it at a reasonable cost, because either way, I do it in hotels. But if you got something where I can do it and it's gonna be reasonable, hold about 30 people or so, I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's work it out. Save you some of that. I know you guys have traveled across the country to come see my seminars, so I definitely got to come to Austin, Texas. Definitely. Let's do it. We got 21 likes. Thank you to all of the people that took the time to like this broadcast. I really appreciate you. Yeah. So I'm going to make that seminar probably in October sometime. October is a month for me, birthday month. Going back to Portugal for I don't know how many days yet. All right, appreciate you, brother. Just shoot me an email, text. You got my number. Call me. You said Will searching content. Yeah, call me. Let me know. I know I would have a great time out there in Texas. Never been to Texas. I guess this is the first time for everything. Yes. I did a seminar in Texas. It was actually it was Houston, Texas. I did one. Yeah. I met a coach for the Dallas, like a co-coach, assistant coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Not the Dallas. No, the Houston. Who's the what's the team for Houston? Whoever that team is. Was it Dallas? I can't, it was one of those teams. I don't follow sports, so I lose track. All right, so I thank you guys for the follow. I look forward to Sunday. Inspiration. Titans. Houston Titans? Okay. So I see you guys on Sunday, 10 a.m. for Sunday Inspiration. Then again, Monday, Consultation Mondays. You guys got to join in on those Monday shows, man. Where I ask questions. I need more participation. I'm not gonna. I thought it was the Oilers. Houston Texans. Okay, it's the Texans. Did they change the name? Right. So that's it for me tonight. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. And have a good night. Sometimes we want things to happen and we keep worrying, is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Do you know you're holding it back just by seeing in your mind that it's not there yet? So you're going to get more not there yet, meaning you must already be living the experience or feeling the experience of which you desire. You must have that. That must be already in you, ready. So when it does show up in the physical, you're just making a connection to what you already manifested in your thoughts. You see, the physical is lagged out, meaning it's got lag. Everything that you're experiencing, what you're doing right now, it comes from the ideas of your mind, and you're experiencing those thoughts. You send forth these desires, these thoughts.